What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing well. We are on NFS Unbound. Yeah, this is a current racing game, which is very different for my channel. As you can see, pretty much all of my content are games from at least minimum 10 years ago. And here we are with the latest Need for Speed. As you can see, there's a reason why I play older titles. Like, look at these graphics. This is literally the minimum preset FSR quality capped at 30 frames a second, and I am still stuttering like crazy. And you'll see that in some other races. So yeah, there's a reason why, because I can't really play these newer games. And also, it's just the time to dedicate myself to more games is just not viable at the moment. And honestly, these new games, I gotta say, my opinion of Unbound is, from a person who I could say is a casual gamer, it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game at all. Actually, I only have a couple hours on it. However, when I did play it for my few sessions, I stayed on it for a while. Like, I didn't get to a point where I was like, oh man, I'm pretty bored of this game, I should probably dip out. I usually dip because I had to go do something else. So that's a pretty good start. In terms of the visual effects and everything, I really like them. I think it's very cool. That also might be because of the fact that I grew up playing, one of my favorite Need for Speed games is Need for Speed Nitro, and that game also has like exaggerated effects. The cars look like bubbles, and especially when you're leading a race, you have like this thing called a tag where the whole like environment becomes essentially your avatar background, you can say. So Unbound seems to take some cues from that, and I really love it, and that's such an amazing ending to the race. So, pretty simple, just a highway race, literally just driving a straight line, nothing much else to it. But now on to the other races. So, my first ever multiplayer races was with this Audi R8, and my second set of multiplayer races was with the Ferrari. So, I only played maybe 4 playlists in my total time. So I have no experience really on this game. I am kind of soft-locked on the campaign because I don't have enough money to buy myself in for the event where you get the Land Rover. And that's literally like, what, the second week of the game timeline? So it's really bad. And as you can see, this stutter is really bad. Like, man, just like constantly just messing up. Now when I drove this Audi, I was like, wow, this car feels horrible. And that's really just because of the fact that I'm not used to the game's handling. This is a very different handling game than any other game I played, especially compared to World, NASCAR, Test Drive Unlimited. Yeah, it has a good weight to it. And this entire gameplay was played on keyboard, so keyboard and this, it takes a while to get used to. Compared to Criterion's last game, Most Wanted 2012, which I did play on keyboard, yeah, this is definitely a different game from that. And you're gonna see me make a lot of mistakes, especially with the keyboard. And there's gonna be one clip that's gonna be coming up where I literally couldn't control the car, and I ended up ramming someone, and it just looks so bad. Just trying to get that overtake. Also, another thing you'll see in this gameplay is that I'm not using nitrous, and that's because of the fact that I actually didn't know the blue bar is nitrous. Great crash. The blue bar is actually nitrous. I think maybe once in a while I realized, oh, I can just use nitrous, but mostly the entire time, especially when I started playing the game, I thought that yellow bar, those 3 yellow bars, was nitrous and that's it. So the entire time I was just straight up just doing this. Dang, just trying not to be last, honestly. and just fighting my computer. That's really my biggest opponent right now, my computer. Can I even finish this race? Let's see. Oh man, game, please do not mess me up. Alright, we got a sharp turn. Yeah, that was such an amazing grip turn. We're at 89%, 7 seconds left. Yeah, we're not making this. Literally, the finish line is right down there, and we are gonna have to take the L on that one. Feels bad. That's just what happens, you know? Sometimes you just gotta take the L. And this was actually my first ever multiplayer race, so yeah, not off to a great start. Now we are doing our second multiplayer race. I know you saw the Ferrari gameplay in the beginning. That was like my second playlist, so this is, I'm pretty sure this is my second gameplay of me playing Unbound multiplayer. And this is the one where it's, man, the keyboard, this car was not cooperating with me at all. Also, another thing about Unbound is that the multiplayer and the single player progression is separate. And I find there's a lot of pros and cons to that. One, it's pretty cool in terms of, essentially it's like 2 different games in one. However, if you were gonna do that, you might as well make them 2 separate games. Kind of like how there's Call of Duty and Call of Duty Warzone. Like honestly, all these games nowadays, they pretty much have freemium models in which you gotta pay for all this like new cars and stuff like that. So like what's the point of paying full price for a game if you're gonna essentially just have just a little less microtransactions? So honestly, my idea is they should have made a Need for they should have made a Need for Speed World 2 and just had this multiplayer mode as it, you know? I'm sure there would be a lot of players. Would there be probably a lot of hackers and stuff? Probably. Do I expect EA to fix it? Probably not. It probably would have, again, just like Need for Speed World. Maybe, 5 years. And as you can see, yeah, that was actually what I was talking about. I did not mean to ram the dude at all. I was literally fighting my car, and I literally couldn't steer the thing. And now this dude is just gonna come like ram me the entire time. So it's understandable because from his perspective, it looks like I was just ramming him the entire time. However, I really was not, and it just looks so wrong. Some good time. Just trying not to be last, and oh man, that traffic car really messed me up. Just really trying to get used to the game. The good thing is that I did get a new CPU. So the computer I'm running is a very low-end computer. It was an i5 4590 RX 580, one of those Optiplex builds, those budget PC builds. I got it for free, so it was a pretty nice upgrade for me. And I upgraded the i5 to an i7, so I was actually able to fix the stuttering. So in the future, I might come back to this game. I'm not too sure yet. But the way things are looking, I might play a little bit more. It's really just finding the time, because you do need to put a lot into this game. However, I did play for maybe a few hours this week, well last week actually, and man, I was able to grind up and get a good amount of money because there's some multiplayers or something going on. I'm not sure if that's a normal thing or if it was just the weekend. But we are back in the Ferrari. Trying to get that perfect start too is so weird. And as you can see, like the stutter is killing me, man. And for some reason, the So when I was playing, so with the R8 gameplay, my computer was fine. This is with the i5, by the way. The computer was fine. However, I didn't seem to have issues apart from the fact that I just ran the game at 30 FPS, but those settings stopped working after an update. And then I needed to put down this game to FSR quality, and it was just... Not only is it still a stuttering mess, but it's just not good. This is really the low spec experience right here. And it's all because of a CPU bottleneck. And also another thing too is that I actually had the same issue with heat when I was actually trying to test out near speed heat. There is just a thing where because even with the i7 it's like this. I guess it's maybe because I have a CPU bottleneck. However, the game like jacks up the CPU util, which is wild. So you need to download like a fix for both games, which is pretty ridiculous. But also it makes sense because I'm running like really old hardware. Although I'm pretty sure the hardware I have doesn't meet minimum specs. Probably not, but I'm pretty sure it does. That being said, you really can't expect much because I'm using a 2017 GPU, a mid-range GPU, and a 2014 CPU. So obviously it's not going to run that well on a 2022 game. So the fact that I'm able to play this game at 30 FPS now with no stutters, for the most part, it's pretty amazing. And it kind of goes to show that, you know, like that's pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie. So if you buy yourself some decent parts, it will last you a while. That being said, the problem is if you buy like, you know, newer parts, well, new high-end parts, and how was I supposed to land Batman? That literally was impossible. Like I was saying, the problem is really adapting because yes, you can probably get yourself, let's say 10 years ago you bought yourself a 980 Ti and what would it be, like a 6700K or a 7700K? Those are still very viable components today. However, are you willing to go from 60 FPS gaming or even like 100 plus FPS gaming to essentially those components probably run games at like maybe 40 FPS? I think, well, with DLSS and FSR, those things, you know, you can maybe achieve 60 frames, but at such lower quality. So that's the one thing I feel like about future-proofing your PC is that are you just willing to take the downgrade over time? Because that's essentially what's going to happen, you know? And honestly, it kind of goes to show, like, gaming is really expensive, you know? So I feel like a viable computer... Well, to be fair, like I said, this is a 2014 CPU and 2017 GPU. Thing is, I'm pretty much a low-spec gamer. The highest end computer I ever had was a GTX 1660 Ti laptop. Had that for a couple months before I sold it. So in the end, I never really experienced any high-end gaming. I can imagine if you do want to experience high-end gaming, it's kind of like you really can't go back. But as a low-spec gamer, and most likely I will always be a low-spec gamer, and the funny thing is, it's not even, you know, back then it was more like, oh yeah, I'm gonna save up money on this stuff, but now it's, I don't really want to spend my money to buy a computer and stuff, because how often am I going to be playing games is really the big question. Because apart from this, I just play emulation. I mean, if you see the content on my channel, those are the games I play. And those games literally can run on my little Intel Core i3 11th gen laptop just fine. Heck, I can even emulate, granted at lower settings, but I can even emulate those games. And the setup I have does emulate all the games I need at 60 FPS, 1080p, and it's pretty great. So it kind of also comes to a point where it's like, should I even spend, let's say like $1,000 on a computer? Because yes, obviously once in a while you will want to play games. However, Is that gonna be all the time? So there's just, life used to be simple back then, where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get like all these new specs, and we're gonna be chilling. But also, after you get your computer, you're always gonna be looking for something better. It's just a thing. Like, especially those who are like really into this, like me. I love just researching computer parts, making builds. Rather than spending time playing my games. Please finish this one, thank you. I would have been so sad if we didn't finish that one, because that was so close. Man, my man is really serious. And my guy is just chilling. So, my Need for Speed Unbound avatar is probably the closest you'll ever get to a face reveal. And that one doesn't even really look like me. I could look like that if I grew my beard out and maybe cut my hair a little shorter. And dude, stutter is wild. The stutter is crazy. And I did not mean to just ram that. And why did I get an achievement? That literally makes no sense. Oh man. But like I was saying, I could look like that. So that's the closest thing you'll get to a face reveal. Just trying not to be last, honestly. And man, this thing... One thing too is like when you do a drift turn, yeah, you really gotta like let go of the throttle. But then your car just drives too slow. Also, I just haven't been playing the game too much, like I said, so don't really know the techniques and all that. I also don't watch videos of this game, nor do I really have any interest. I'm not gonna lie. However, maybe I should watch a video or two on how to be a better racer. Final lap, let's go. Just don't be last. Come on, Ferrari, you got this. Dude behind is pretty far out, but oh, this bridge is messing me up. Man, this bridge, what? Nice jump. I was straight up about to ruin the whole race right there. Just be nice and light. Oh, game, please don't stutter on me. Come on. Just a little more. Just don't mess up too much. Wow, we're actually third. I didn't even realize that. Of course I do that. Of course I do that right at the end. Come on, get that draft. Get that draft and overtake. Me remembering to use nitrous. And me remembering to use nitrous just like that has gotten me a third place finish. Let's go. Anyways, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Peace out.